Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're now joined by Associate AD for Communications, Todd Anderson. Todd, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jenna.
Well, it's been a while since we had you on the show last in 2013 as a guest, so I wanted to give you the chance to talk about some of the things your office is responsible for on a daily basis to catch viewers up to speed on what an athletics communications office does.
Well, the short answer to your question would be public relations for the athletic department, but as you know, and as Elka knows in the studio right now, that entails a lot more, a lot of different stuff. You do public address announcing for softball. I do public address announcing for a lot of the other sports, but mainly the short answer to your question would be PR for the athletic department, but we take on different things every day on a needed basis. So.
Well, social media and new media such as video plays a huge factor in today's marketing and branding of any sports team. So how much emphasis do you place on social media and new media to disperse the message of each team at UNCP?
Well, I think both social media and new media, it's a matter of keeping up with the Joneses. It's such a phenomenal tool for getting information out, and it's even faster than putting it up on our website. Social media and new media are used hugely in recruiting for new student athletes to come into UNCP. So it's a matter of just adapting each day and trying to get your social media outlets better than the next person as far as from a recruiting standpoint. But they're valuable tools for getting the information out there quick in 140 characters or less. It's something that's developing more and more each year, so they're getting even more useful year in and year out.
Well, you have a very small staff in your office, so how do you make sure everything is covered from live stats to video to post-game stories on days when you have multiple home events? And also, how does your office report on the games that happen on the road?
Well, organization is a huge aspect of this job, and I'm thankful for you for that, because you're a very organized person and keeps the office running day to day as much as I do. But I think that when we have multiple home events, it's just getting the priorities straight, putting your list of priorities of what needs to be done here, how few people can go here and how few people can go here. Obviously, we experienced in February and March where we hosted big events like the wrestling regionals and the Peach Belt Conference basketball championships that sometimes you can't do everything. I know for the wrestling regionals, I hired somebody somebody took over for me outside at baseball because I had a funeral to go to. So obviously different factors can push in to keep you even less staffed at events. But there was a time in February I had to hire somebody to come in and do a certain sport for us because we didn't have enough people. So it's just a matter of putting your priorities, getting your priorities in order and making sure everything organized and covered.
Well, your office has a great working relationship with the Mass Communications Department, and each semester has about 10 to 15 interns that will help with in-game live streaming of home athletic events, as well as this weekly coaches show. How crucial is the help and partnership between your office and the Mass Communications Department?
Well, I think it's gigantic. I don't think that we could be where we are today without the help of the Mass Communications Department, and I already gave a shout out to Elka in the studio, but Jamie Liddy and Sally and Clark and Chuck back in the studio right now obviously are a huge part of what we do on a weekly basis, not a daily basis. I know that they have helped our video streaming efforts at home by making their presence, making more presence at our home events. So obviously we couldn't do what we were doing without them. The interns that they provide us on a semester by semester basis obviously help us out tremendously as well.
Well, this year you were promoted to Associate Athletics Director for Communications. So have you found yourself being able to touch different aspects of the athletics department? What would you say has been the most challenging and rewarding since that title change?
Well, I think that I'm not bragging by any means here, but since I've been here, I've been promoted about 2 or 3 times, and every time I get promoted, it just comes with more meetings. So that's mainly what it is. It's mainly putting me into a senior leadership role so we can get more organized in this area and this area. Obviously, my input from my department has a lot to do with how we run certain events, but I think that as far as my senior leadership role, it's just to get the department more organized at home athletic events and of other events that we may host as well.
Well, I'm going to save this question for just a moment and ask you one. Within this job, it's very hard to have that balance between work life and a home life. How do you make sure that you have that balance and that your employees have that balance?
Well, I mean, I try to give my employees the option of taking off whenever they want. Obviously, some employees are a little bit harder to get them to take time off. And I can look at you right now and direct this towards you, but Elka knows what I'm saying in the back studio too, because she decides to work all the time as well. But you just got to get to points where you just leave it all in the office. You got to have time for yourself, because if you don't, you'll get burnt out quick. At this time of the year, because we work so many athletic events, it's easy to get burnt out. So you need to take time for yourself. I know that you have immersed yourself in health and fitness, and Elka's immersed herself in health and fitness. So that's your time, and it's important for you to have your time away from the job as well.
Well, with a couple seconds left, we asked this question to our coaches, and I wanted to throw this similar question at you as well. What has been one of your most memorable experiences in your nearly 10-year career as head of the department at UNCP?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say that hiring you and Elka wasn't a highlight of my career, but I think that, and you were involved with this directly, the successes of our student athletes, like Daniel winning national championships, and the baseball team winning the 2011 Peach Belt Conference tournament, and the basketball team doing as well as they did this year. I think those are highlights of my career, because you get to see what you do in the successes of your student athletes, and nothing makes this job more fulfilling than reporting on the successes of what your student athletes and coaches have done.
All right, well, thank you for being
Thanks.
on the show. We're going to take our next commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to watch a feature video on head softball coach Brittany Bennett, so stay tuned.